Rogan's High School Sports Show is brought to you by the United States Army. Be all you can be. Schoolsports.com, the leader in high school sports. And Power Bar.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's show. The football championship round is now in our rearview mirror, and we'll run down the title action. We'll preview the first ever National High School All-Star football game, and we'll welcome more all-Power Bar team members into the fold. But we start with the heavyweights of Southland football, Loyola and Long Beach Poly in the Division I championship game at Edison Field in Anaheim. Here's Jake Downey.
Thanks, Fred, and these are two of Southern California's most historic high schools. Loyola may be the oldest in Southern California. They've won 4 championships, the last one in 1990. They were a finalist in 96. As for Poly, check out this record since the start of the 97 season. 53 wins, a tie and a loss in 55 games, plus 2 championships.
Quarter number 3, Loyola up 3 and punting out of their own end zone. Marvin Simmons the block, and Darnell Bing is on it. That touchdown gives Poly a 7-3 lead. They try to make it stand up in the fourth quarter, but Marky White is wrapped up by Nathan Green, and the ball's on the ground. Loyola's Kevin Harbor comes out of nowhere to pounce on it, and it gives the guys in the white shirts new life. About a minute later, it's Matt Ware with a nice fake, and then he throws back against the grain to Joe Killifer. He scores. Loyola up 3 with a $1:12 to go. But Poly gets down to field goal range, and with 9 seconds left, Javier Torres splits the pipes from 27 yards. His only field goal of the season. We're going to overtime. Loyola kicks a field goal on their possession, and Poly's Brandon Brooks lofts it to Herschel Dennis. He skips a tackler and scores, and that's it. Long Beach Poly, their 3rd D1 title in 4 years. On to D2 in Glendora. Chino and Upland. Upland in the green. Down 3-0 in the first quarter. That's Bo Drake hanging up a rainbow for Julian Williams. Nice throw and a nice catch. 58 yards, 7-3 Upland, and 14-10 Upland at halftime. On to the third quarter. More of Drake making big plays with the help of Jeremy Bascom. Watch Jeremy turn this play into a touchdown, shaking a tackle and leaping a tackler. This makes it 20-10 Upland. They'd add another touchdown to lead 26-10. And look out, Tim Salter, you're getting the bath of a champion. Upland wins D2. On to D3, we're making beautiful music down the street from Magic Mountain. It's Hart hosting Miracosta. Hart's Kyle Matter to Chris Steck in the end zone. It's 7-3 Hart in the first quarter. But Miracosta had an answer before the half. Steven Martinez downfield to Nick Winan. He's down at about the 5, and Miracosta's in business. A couple of plays later, the give here is the big Michael Okwo. He gets over the line, and it's 14-9. Add the 2-pointer. It's 14-11 Hart at halftime. And Hart leads by 9 in the third quarter when Matter drops and hangs one downfield to who else but Mr. Steck. Nice grab, and he gets over the goal line. 27-11 Hart. They'd add another touchdown from there, and the Hart Indians win their 3rd straight championship and 6th in school history. We've got Dancing Cougars in San Luis Obispo County. It's Ventura in the white, paying a visit on Arroyo Grande in D4. Andrew Levere to Sean McNary of Ventura. He scores the hard way, 7-0 Ventura. They lead 14-0 until Arroyo Grande gets off the deck. Cameron Walton to Brian Wachi. He scores, and this helps tie the game at 14 at halftime. On to the fourth quarter. Ventura leads by a touchdown. AG looking for some defense, but that's when Tyler Ebel puts the cap on his magical season. This one goes for 77 yards and the touchdown to break it open. And a few minutes later, it's Ebel finding his way through the tall trees and breaking free again. And the young man they call Mighty Mouse finishes with 4,494 yards. That's an all-time national record. Ventura has its first title since 1951. On to Riverside County for another member of the Cat family, the Tigers of Elsinore, hosting these guys in white, Corona Centennial. That's Mike Bass scoring from short range. His guys lead 14-3 at the break. Third quarter, this is Elsinore's Chris Smith, finding the end zone to cut it to 14-10. But Mr. Bass said that wouldn't stand for very long, because later in the third, on 4th and 3, he's gone to make it 21-10 Centennial. On to the fourth quarter now, 21-18. It's Lamar Broadway. to Shea Still. Nice grab in the end zone from 10 yards away. 27-18 Centennial. They celebrate their first championship ever.
All right, now that's not it for football. We'll take a peek at more championship games when we return, and we'll preview that National High School All-Star game. So don't go anywhere. We weren't done with the title round highlights, and we're not. Now it's time to kick off action in Division 6 through 10.
On to Costa Mesa for a D6 rematch. Newport Harbor in the blue beat Irvine last year. Would it be the same in 2000? Hey, that's why we're showing you the highlights. Harbor's Morgan Craig rolls and throws to Andy Rankin. He's hit and fumbles near the goal line. The ball ends up in the end zone. Irvine's on it, and that's a touchback. And Irvine would make that hurt. In the second quarter, Travis Otot hanging one up for Eric Patton. Nice throw, nice catch, and Patton with some moves after the catch. He's going to zip down the sidelines and find the end zone. Down in front. Hey, there's Patton, and it's 7-0 Irvine. Then it's Otot to Dave Doomey. Nice grab there, and it's 14-0 Irvine, and time for hugs. Same score, fourth quarter now, and Harbor trying to make something happen. It's Craig into the end zone, but he's picked off by Joe Pollard. Joe finally gets a handle on it, and he's coming out. He'll finally get knocked down. But you know what? Irvine can celebrate because they're the champs of D6. Another rematch of the title round in D7. That's Los Altos in the blue and taking on Charter Oak. In the second quarter, 7 apiece. Brandon Kyle to David Bowler. And Charter Oak's going to grab a 14-7 lead on the touchdown play. On to the fourth quarter, 14 apiece. Felipe Aguilar to Ramon Martinez. Watch him grab the tip ball. He hangs on, and the guy in the striped shirt says that's a touchdown. But Charter Oak would get it back. Kyle hangs one up for Carr, and watch Carr cut back inside and fake every guy in a blue shirt out of his boots. He's going to then tiptoe down the sidelines and score 21 apiece. Same score, 32 seconds left. That's Sean Cody of Los Altos pulling over the line just barely. 28-21 Los Altos. That's your final score. And Los Altos repeats in Division 7. Near Palm Springs, just like the t-shirt says, it's Barstow visiting La Quinta. La Quinta's Sammy Chavez, the slant pass to Jeff Webb. And Webb does the rest. He turns on the jets and zips down the sideline. 65 yards, 6-0 La Quinta. Hey, Jeff, why don't you take a bow? He'd have more reason to brag on this play. Chavez to Webb. This one only covers 62 yards. Add the two-pointer, it's 14-0 La Quinta and 20-7 in the fourth quarter. Barstow's Tommy Rhines, the tip pass to Daniel Robinson, that's a touchdown. But La Quinta hangs on, and they win their first championship in the 7-year history of the school. In Covina, fence D. Well, it probably says defense from the other side. Either way, it's La Habra and South Hills. La Habra's Mike Keeling to Jonathan Tapia. And Tapia scores from 40 yards away. 14-13 La Habra at recess. In the third quarter, South Hills grabs back the lead. It's Edie to Jason Murray. Nice throw, nice catch. It's 19-14 South Hills. La Habra would have their chances. This double pass ends up in the hands of Alvarez for a touchdown, but the referees bring it back. The second touchdown nullified by a penalty, and it stays 19-14 South Hills. So here's La Habra's last chance. Fourth down, a minute to go, and Kirk McLean picks off Keeling, and it's time to celebrate for South Hills. They win the first championship for their school since 1974. On to Gardena for Division 10. Paso Robles in the white and visiting Inglewood. Inglewood scores first. This is Lamar Ferguson busting out of the rugby scrum, and he's got a whole lot of pasture to cover. This goes for 65 in the touch, and Inglewood is on the board first. But Paso Robles would answer. Brandon Thomas to Jason Holmes. Watch Holmes' effort after the catch. He spins and gets on the pylon, and that puts Paso Robles back in the dance. But Inglewood's defense had trouble with Paso Robles most of the night. Thomas scores here to give Paso a 10-point lead. And fourth quarter now, it's Thomas by air to Holmes. Holmes hauls in the touchdown to give Paso a 43-34 lead. They win 43-40. Paso Robles wins their third straight title and 8th overall in the 105-year history of the school.
Time now to meet the newest members of the All-Power Bar team. From Southern California, we start with the record breaker, running back Tyler Ebell from Ventura High School. This season, the senior running back broke the national season rushing record, surpassing the magical 4,087 yards set in 1997 by present Tennessee running back Travis Henry. At 5'8", Ebell knows that some of his opponents don't take him seriously.
They underestimate me, but after my first or second carry, they don't underestimate me anymore because I leave them face down in the dirt.
The thing about Tyler that I really enjoy, if I could ever watch, is that every time he touches the ball, you expect great things to happen, and most often they do. But I also know that he would trade all that in for a W, that he really doesn't care about all this stuff.
UCLA fans can't wait to get this guy on campus next year. Congratulations to the newest members of our All-Power Bar team. Coming up, meet the best of the West. The National High School Football Western All-Stars strut their stuff when we come back.
Long easy, 316 Delta Bravo, flight at...
If you would, a national all-star game featuring the best high school football players across the country. Well, for the first time, that'll take place in Dallas, Texas on the 30th of December. East versus West, filled with future big-time stars. And our preview of the West squad is this week's U.S. Army All-Americans.
The folks at SportsLink Sports Marketing, the creators of the National High School All-Star Game, and SchoolSports.com, who selected the players, have come up with some heavy hitters. And we mean that literally. Try two of the best linebackers in the country. From the nation's #1 team, De La Salle in Concord, California, comes linebacker Kevin Simon. The 5'11", 215-pounder is still wide open on his college choice, but his partner for this game will be Marvin Simmons from Southern California powerhouse Long Beach Poly. The 6-foot Simmons has 4.3 speed with a 405-pound bench press and will do his thing for UCLA next season. Other defensive weapons for the West include defensive tackle Lorenzo Alexander from St. Mary's High in Berkeley, California, who will put the Cal uniform on his 6'2", 290-pound frame next season. And from the state of Texas, one of the best defensive backs in the country, Cedric Griffin from Holmes High School in San Antonio, who will head to Austin and play for the Longhorns. And the West is going to be able to score. They are armed with one of the top quarterbacks in the country, 6'5" Brent Rawls from offensive powerhouse Evangel Christian Academy in Shreveport, Louisiana, who is still considering several schools. But for this shootout in Dallas, he will have the chance to throw to the #1 receiver in the country, 6'4" Reggie Williams. From Lakes High School in Tacoma, Washington, Williams is still considering Notre Dame, Michigan, UCLA, and Washington. That is just a small sample of the top talent gathered for this game. For the complete East and West rosters and other game information, log on to SchoolSports.com and save the date, December 30th, for the National High School All-Star Game in Dallas. Okay, let's check out the SchoolSports.com National Football Top 25. While we still have one more week until the final 2000 poll, the national champion has been decided, and it's De La Salle from Concord, California. They finished the year with a perfect 13-0 record, their 9th consecutive undefeated season. De La Salle's win streak grew to 113 as they went wire to wire as the #1 team in our poll, and chances are they'll be the preseason favorite in 2001. Now let's check out the rest of the top 25. For more info on the nation's top 25, or to check out your local football or basketball top 10, be sure to log on to SchoolSports.com.
Coming up, more championship round highlights from Southern California.
Well, thank you very much, ladies. It is time for even more championship football now, beginning with Division 11. St. Bonaventure hosting Orange Lutheran in Ventura.
St. Bonaventure trying to make it 2 unbeaten seasons in a row. About 47 seconds into the game, you got the idea that they just might. Lorenzo Booker scores from 47, 6-0 Bonnies. But Orange Lutheran would make a game of it. Just before halftime and down 14-3, Jason Taylor pitches to Ryan Cecil. Cecil closes the sale, and Orange Lutheran closes the lead. St. Bonnie leads 14-10 at the break. So St. Bonnie coach John Mack says, hey guys, you got to play better. And they do. Third quarter, it's Booker from the 21, and he's going to give Bonaventure their 21st point to Lutheran's 10. Later in the third quarter, the guys in Greenwood dance down the field again and cap the drive with a touchdown by who else but Mr. Booker. St. Bonaventure repeats as champions, and now they have a winning streak of 28 straight. That's the Montclair Prep Mountie wanting his guys to beat Paraclete in Division 12. 6-6 just before half. Paraclete's Craig Herrera to Patrick Courtney. That's a touchdown and the 2-pointer. Paraclete leads 8 at the half. Late fourth quarter, Montclair Prep makes it close. This is Gary Sonker coming out of the pile of bodies, and he's going to score. 14-12 Montclair Prep. They got to go for 2. But Mike Moore stops short of the goal line, and that's the difference. Paraclete hangs on to 4 cleats. The Orange and hosting Aquinas. Van Imhoff. Small playing large. Guys. Down to the 1-inch line. In the fourth quarter, Holly stays in it with the help of this play. Imhoff hangs it up for Kirk Harold this time. Harold's wide open. It's 20-14 Aquinas. But this is where Aquinas breaks it open. On 4th and 1, it's Walton again. Shaking tackles, looking like O'Harry, dipping inside and outside, and this is going to be a 53-yard run down to the 21. A few plays later, who else but Mr. Walton carries it across on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th effort. Wow, nice touchdown. 27-14 Aquinas. 21. It's the first title for the school from San Bernardino since they opened for business in 1955. And let's not forget about 8-man football, where Rio Hondo Prep and Cal Lutheran are your champions. Guys who grew up with one another playing for a city title. South Bay neighbors Carson and Banning in the Coliseum. Carson in the blue, that's Justin Cooper out to Trevion Stevens. And Stevens has a whole lot of room to run. He's finally knocked down inside the 10. Carson would go on to kick a field goal and lead 3-0. Going the other way, Damian Satete to AJ Tuatele, and AJ's going to break a few tackles, and he's got some pasture to cover. Watch him zip down the far sidelines, and he's going to find the end zone. Extra point, no good, and Banning would lead 6-3. Same score second quarter. Tuatele this time doesn't have as much room to cover, but it doesn't matter because he's across the line, and it's 13-3 Banning. But Carson doesn't let that stand. Before the half, it's Cooper calling his own number and busting right down Main Street. It's 13-10 Banning at recess. Time for a high five. This is the third quarter kickoff. It's James Carter of Banning taking a lick inside his own 20, and watch him bust right up the gut. James doesn't have anyone who can catch him from about midfield. Down in front, and it's 20-10 Banning. On to the fourth quarter now, and this is where they wrap it up. It's Satete hanging one up for Jeff Herrera. Nice throw, nice catch. It's 26-10 Banning. And you know what? They'd go on to win by that score and claim the 11th city title in school history. In the city invitational finals, Gardena spanks Roosevelt 31-7.
Hello, I'm Kevin Kiley. If you're a grandparent...
Week with an all-new half hour. Until then, I'm Fred Rogan. We'll see you then.
purchase a VHS copy of this or any show, call 818-559-8648. Or find us on the web at audiovideoservices.com.